Hello, this is Melissa Johnson with Florida Living with Melissa, and I am here with Cassidy, my most favorite photographer, and she was the photographer at my event, which you did such a phenomenal job.
Thank you so much.
But I have to tell people, I love how we met. It's such a cool story. So it was right around when we were kind of getting back out from COVID, everything was starting to open up. And you worked at a local restaurant here in Winter Park.
A couple of years ago,
yeah. I know it's been a couple years. And I don't normally pick people up, like the servers up when they come to our table and wait on us. But you were so friendly. I just was like, oh my gosh, I have to stay in touch with this girl. We totally clicked. And so I got your phone number and we've just been staying in touch as friends. And now we meet for lunch. You're my go-to photographer. So fun. So thank you so much for meeting with me today. I can't wait to share everything that you have going on because it's so fun.
Yeah, it was definitely a blessing to get this opportunity to speak with you like this. It kind of feels like we're out to lunch anyway.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so tell everyone about your business. So you are a photographer, and your side hustle is you're a server, but that's not your thing. You're a photographer. That's your business that you have, and you've got some fun stuff coming up. So tell everybody.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So my business is in the Orlando area mainly. Ideally I want to work with small businesses pertaining to cafes, breweries, and restaurants specifically to do their photography on a monthly basis. I really don't want it to be a huge show because you have a lot of food and restaurant photographers that charge quite a lot, and it's a whole day production or 2-day production. I want it to be a lot more mobile and quick.
Wow. So really in the restaurant business or in the food industry, photographers charge quite a bit for their services. Now I would think, since it's not a live subject, it wouldn't be as expensive, but that's not the case?
Oh no, not at all. Wow. Especially because I have at the local restaurant that I work at and the photography, I don't necessarily need to depend on it to live.
Right.
Pretty much.
Wow, that's really interesting. So tell us about, what was it like when you first started?
When I first started, it was from scratch. So I sat down at the Foxtail Cafe on Howell Branch with my computer, and I looked up a template for a business plan. So I went over the executive summary, you know the deal, how I'm going to market, what my culture is, what my branding is, what I'm going to stand by, and I wanted to also incorporate how I'm going to impact the community at large, because that's going to be a huge part in the next couple of years. I'm going to be donating to Second Harvest Food Bank and multiple other charities. This is probably later, but I'm going to start a volunteer group with a lot of different women and small businesses in the area, and we'll go out and help anywhere that really needs a strong group of volunteers to come in and influence. But all of those things were just kind of spilling out of my head when I was building the business plan itself, and I got excited about it. I felt that passion, that drive come out, and that's really what I've been craving my entire life, is something to really get me going. So
you need that. You're going to need that when you start a business, because if you don't have the passion, it's not going to give you the persistence, and we all know there are things that are going to want to stop you that come up, and you're going to need that passion to push through. Have you always been in photography? How did you come to the photography part of the business? As a kid, did you always play with cameras, or?
So when I was 15 or 16, my mom got me a PowerShot Canon SX530, and it pretty much started from there because I had a small interest. I really loved Paul Nicklin and his significant other Mitty. They are very well-known National Geographic photographers. So they are more wildlife centered, and they're just as passionate about their work. They live for bringing a lot more light to endangered species in the Antarctic and in cold environments in general. And that really stuck out to me as you can really make your career something that helps the environment as well and the community. So from that, I had this idea.
Great. So I want to make sure. So I love that your passion is food, and now you've just taken it to a whole nother level. Like it's such an important part of our life, and now I love that you have
live to eat. Yeah.
Well, yeah, so we all right. But you know what? There are some people, like, your whole passion is like that whole giving back to the second food harvest, and second harvest? Second harvest, yeah.
Among other charities.
Who do such an amazing, I mean, they feed so many people, and I mean, I can see, it's just so wonderful that you tied your passion to helping people. Like, that's just phenomenal.
I think everything ought to be that way, like moving forward.
Okay, so what was the one thing as you started your business, what surprised you the most once you started working with your passion?
So everything is on me, and you tell yourself that, but then there's the actual application of it, where you need to set your deadlines, you need to do your to-do list, you need to write it and do it in a timely manner, and you can also create this whole environment around your business. A lot of times, well, you see a lot of examples of it kind of everywhere. In every restaurant, they have their own theme, culture, and way of doing things. And every business, every owner kind of paves this certain experience for their customers, for their clientele. And that was another drive of passion, where it's like, I can make this such a great experience for everybody that encounters my business. And that's still something that I'm working on over the next 6 or 7 months. That it was the flexibility and the control that you had. I knew that I would have it, but in reality, it was so much more than what I was expecting.
And you're the time clock. Like, it either gets done or it doesn't. And you're the one that kind of drives that bus.
Yeah, nobody else is helping me out, no.
Yeah. No. But I think it's, I hear that from a lot of business owners, that they say that their business is kind of like their babies. And, you take care of it because it's yours. You've got to grow it. You've got to nurture it. And if you don't, feed it, change it. Exactly.
Take it out.
Okay, so.
Take it to Chick-fil-A.
Exactly. Hey, in your line of work, that definitely would not be.
Oh my gosh.
So, okay.
I can't imagine that.
So do you find yourself, like, I have a few friends who are photographers, and they, they are nature, so they're always out photographing. When you go out to eat, is it like are you kind of like, oh my gosh, look at this wonderful plate that I just have, I need to photograph this?
All the time, yes. Yeah. Especially at the restaurant that I work at. Their food is amazing, and the lighting is amazing. So whenever I'm like making a coffee or cappuccino, I set it on the ledge, and we have the sunset coming in, and it's just the light hitting the back of it, and you can see the steam coming off. And like,
it's killing you not to take that picture. You're like, just snapping.
Give me my camera, like give me an iPhone to do something, so that like this moment is just so beautiful.
I love that.
Especially with the cocktails, like our Manhattan that comes through, and just that
and
wonderful caramel cherry color when the light hits through it.
Oh my gosh, you can tell you love what you do for sure.
Oh my God,
see, and I'm not thinking, like, when I see those, I'm thinking, here, let me have it quickly so I can like drink it or eat it. I'm not thinking I need. After I eat it, I'm like, oh, I probably should have taken a picture of it. That was really good. So, the next thing, and I'm kind of hesitant to ask this because in photography, I am quite sure. But what is the oddest request that you have? Well, and we'll keep it like G-rated. What is the oddest request that you've received?
So, this was a couple of years ago when I first kind of got into it and was telling everybody, hey, being a photographer, I'm here for you.
Right.
I did get a request for feet.
For someone to take pictures of their feet.
Yep, on a monthly basis, and I said no, that's not really the direction that I want to go into.
You didn't want to add that to your portfolio?
No, although I do have like really nice like baby with cute. Like,
well, that's
like,
different.
like
but this was a grown version. Like,
yes.
Okay, so that's good. We should probably ask. Like, so it wasn't like baby feet every month to show how they were growing. It was a grown foot.
For other intentions, for another thing.
That is so, okay.
That was the weirdest one.
That would be up there for sure. So what would you say? Now, I know what I loved about my experience, but what's something that you hear your customers say that they love about working with you? You just did a huge event down in Miami, and like, you wowed those people. What were they saying about you that was just so phenomenal?
The majority of the commentary that I get is angle that I take things and the eye that I have. and the different perspectives that I like to capture.
Yeah.
Of course, I stay focused on the project. They send me a huge list of things that I need to get photography of specifically, but I also kind of dip and dive outside of the lines to try and get them a different perspective that would look good with their website or with their social media. So a lot of times I get, I like your eye, I like your creative perspective, I like what you bring to the gallery that you send over, and I'm fun to work with.
I was going to say, I was waiting for that, because that's the one thing that I heard is that you bring not only the talent and the creativity, but your experience with you is like everybody enjoys being around you and working with you.
Yeah, so that's weird to say it from my perspective,
Right,
but like to answer your question, I do get that. Like it's just fun to work with. Yeah.
But what do we have to look forward to that you see? I know, right? This is exciting. Okay. And what does the future of your business, like what do we have to look forward to? Because I know you've got some great things coming.
Okay, so let me see. It's 3 things, but right now I'm only remembering 2. Maybe the third one will bubble up here in a second. The volunteer group. Yes. So that's going to be within the next 6 months. I plan to...
And if you're looking for ladies to help you with the volunteer part, is this something that you would like for people to reach out to you and get in touch?
It's not completely set. I don't have a plan for it yet. This is mainly just an idea that I am going to follow through with.
So everybody's going to follow you on Instagram. They're going to follow you, and then when it's ready, then they'll know how to get in touch with you.
Yes, it'll all be promoted in either a reel or however which way I'm going to advertise it. But that's coming down the line along with restaurant reviews, which I am so excited about. The main idea behind it is to really get like a comedic exposure for a lot of these small restaurants that are cropping up around here. We got microbreweries, we have all these small little cafes that are French-based or Japanese-based, and it's like they need more exposure because what they're bringing to the table is delicious.
Right.
And I want to give that platform to them as soon as I can.
Ooh, can I come along?
Yes. I'm gonna have different people interview. It's not just gonna be me. I'm bringing in my friends.
Yeah. We'll just keep meeting for lunch every week and trying these places out. I love it. Okay, you saw it here. This is the start of a whole thing.
Yes, it's going to be so much fun. I want it to be fun and interactive, and I want to really bring the community together in that way. I think it's just videography. Not only do I want to provide photography for my clients, I want to bring in videography for them for whatever their needs are, either it be for Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts. I'll provide the sound equipment, the lighting, and the editing, and I'll shoot it over to them. But that's within the next 6 months.
And I think that restaurants, and even people that do, they're good at their craft, they're good at cooking, they're good at making the food. But you're right, taking the photography and that's a whole nother piece of the business that I could see they would need help with that.
Yeah, especially for home chefs, where they don't necessarily want to do that.
Right.
Because a lot of it's the passions and the cooking and not necessarily, I think you and I have talked about this, where it's like the social media, you really need to keep up with it, and it's
100%.
Necessary. It's not necessarily what I want to do, but it's necessity these days. You get a lot more traffic and exposure that way, so a lot of times people find themselves only focusing on their craft rather than expansion.
And especially the smaller businesses that they really do, the only exposure they have is social media. Because they're not in stores, and that's,
it's
just
where they get their feet, their ground, and their community to expand into grocery stores,
Right, so what is the best way for people to get in touch with you?
Okay. So that would be, you can direct message me on Instagram, you can email me, that would be one of the best ways, or you can just text me. The phone number that you see on my Google Business is my direct phone number.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much. I just adore you. I know it was very serendipity that we met. What are the chances? I promise you, I really do not normally pick up phone numbers from servers. It's, you have your dinner, you say goodbye.
Yeah.
But I just love...
There's never really that.
No. Has anybody else picked you up? Any of your other customers?
Yes.
They have?
Yes. That's how I got my internship.
She just has one of those personalities that you just want to know.
I just like making friends. That's it.
No, most people don't have that. That's a huge, personality plus. Thanks. I love it. Thank you so much for watching. This is Melissa Johnson with Florida Learning with Melissa, and Cassidy will put all the information, and until next time, bye.